Hi guys, welcome back. So it's officially October. It's my favorite time of the year. I love the autumn when the leaves start to change and the temperature kind of cools down. And of course, I love Halloween. So I always tend to pick all the books that I'm going to read for this month as sort of scary ghost type stories, even the movies I watch. And I thought I'd go ahead and share that with you today. I don't usually do TBR for the month, but this is sort of different because it's a bit of a theme. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. This, of course, will take the place of my Friday Reads video, since you already know what I'll be reading immediately. I always have an audiobook going for the month, so I checked out audible.com, and I came across this one. This is a book that was written about 10 years ago. It's by John Harwood, and it's entitled The Ghostwriter. The synopsis was a little bit vague. It's about a young boy who lives in Australia. His great-grandmother wrote ghost stories, and these stories are all kind of revealed as you're reading this book. So you're reading these little snippets of ghost stories that are sort of tied to his family and background, but there's some secret that his mother has kept from him, and he kind of almost stumbles across it early on when he finds a secret drawer with a picture in there, and his mother just goes into a rage when he finds it. So through the course of the story, he ends up going to England to kind of uncover this secret that his mother's kept from him. And that's about all I know about the story, but just listening to the audio sample on audible.com, it sounded pretty good, so I went ahead and downloaded it. Some of the movies I hope to watch this month are Battle Royale. I've not read the book, and I've never seen the movie before. You know, it's sort of like this Japanese Hunger Games. Some kids are kidnapped, put on an island, and it's a fight to the death. And the only thing I really am acquainted with in terms of the story is I'm currently reading the manga online because I can't find a printed copy anywhere. And it just turns out that the BookTuber Manga Club has chosen Battle Royale, the manga, as one of its reads for the month of October. So that worked out pretty well. I'm kind of maybe a third into it so far, but I really want to see the movie. I also have The Grudge with Sarah Michelle Gellar. This is just a super creepy movie. About a house. It's sort of like this boy that haunts it. Let's see if it gives a good description here. Following a series of horrifying and mysterious deaths, Sarah Michelle Gellar plays an American nurse. She encounters a vengeful supernatural spirit that possesses its victims, claims their souls, and then passes its curse to another person in a spreading chain of horror. Now she must find a way to break this supernatural spell or become the next victim. Really good. I've seen this before. I can't wait to watch it again. And then there's The Omen with Gregory Peck. Old movie. I can't read the synopsis to you because it's sort of covered up with a sticker, but it's a classic. It's been around for quite some time, and just a really, really good movie. Then also with Sarah Michelle Gellar is The Return. I stumbled across this one. I hadn't heard about it before, but since it's a nonstop supernatural thriller, her character is Jonah Mills. She's haunted by increasingly terrifying visions where she can see and feel the brutal murder of a woman she's never met before. And she ends up, her life spirals out of control. She goes to a small town in Texas, a place where secrets can't be buried, and a spirit seeks vengeance. And it's possible that these visions that she sees might be visions of her own murder. So, sounds cool. Then there's The Faculty. Something about alien parasites taking over the minds of teachers, and it ends up being like the faculty versus the students. Heard some really good things about that, so I can't wait to see that. And then just for a little lighthearted horror, I picked Monster House. And that sounds kind of fun. Yeah, I'll see some images there, but I've seen this once before. It's been a while, and I can't quite remember the synopsis of it, so I'll go into it like new. I've got a couple graphic novel mangas that I'm planning on picking up by Yoshiki Tanagi. This is Judge 1. You can also see the cover that way. And this is by the same one who did Doubt, which I reviewed on my channel before. That had kind of a feeling of like the movie Saw, if you've seen those before. This one says, envy, lust, sloth, wrath, gluttony, pride, and greed. A group of sinners who bear the guilt of the 7 deadly sins has been gathered in an old courthouse to face judgment. To leave this place alive, they must offer up a sacrifice, one of their number as the trial begins. But who will the gavel fall on first? So that sounds pretty cool. See some images here. Yeah. I like this artwork. I like the artwork from the first one too. And yeah, looking forward to starting that. That's a 4-part series. Then this particular graphic novel I saw online, it's a definite cover by and perfect for this time of year. It is entitled Bedlam. I mean, just look at that cover. And it says, is evil just something you do or something you are? And Fillmore Press was once Mad or Red, a homicidal maniac and a criminal overlord who ruled the city of Bedlam. Now he's been cured of his mania and says he wants to help protect the place he once terrorized, but can't even trust it. I've looked at some of the images. They're a bit gruesome on some. Let me see if I can show you some of the artwork that isn't all bloody. But I think the second one is actually already out, too. So, yeah, looking forward to getting into that. Cover really freaks me out. The next three books I saw on Liz's channel over at Izziness89. And the first two I'm going to show you, she actually said on her channel on the video, Sue, you've got to pick these books up. And she also recommended them to Charlie, and I'll put links to both of their channels down below. But the first one she mentioned is the one I'm currently reading, and I'm actually on page 40 already. And that is James Dawson's Say Her Name, and it is about Bloody Mary. The truth is more terrifying than the legend. Apparently some kids decide to try out the urban legend and chant Bloody Mary 5 times in a mirror, and apparently 5 days later she's going to be making an appearance. I love this cover too. This is the UK cover. Had to get this one. It's by Hot Key Books. I just love it much more than the American cover. So super cool, and I'm really enjoying it so far. And she also recommended this book, Rin Chupeco's The Girl from the Well. Love this cover. It is so cool. And on the back. And then even underneath the dust jacket, it has like this ring image, like a well, which reminds me of the book, The Ring. And it says on the back here, for a long moment we stare at each other. He, another girl's murderer, and I, another man's victim. Then my mouth widens further, and I detach myself from the ceiling to lunge, my unblinking eyes boring into his panicked, screaming face. So that sounds super cool. I can't wait to get into that. And these two books have pretty large typeface, so it should be pretty easy to get through these. And then she also talked about this one, This House is Haunted. It's by John Boyne, and this is the author of The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. It says on the back here, 1867, on a dark and chilling night, Eliza Kane arrives in Norfolk to take up her position as governess at Godlin Hall. As she makes her way across the station platform, a pair of invisible hands push her from behind into the path of an approaching train. She is only saved by the vigilance of a passing doctor. It is the start of a journey into a world of abandoned children, unexplained occurrences, and terrifying experiences, which Eliza will have to overcome if she is to survive the secrets that lie within Godlin's walls. So that sounded really cool. Yeah, so I can't wait to get into that. Got a couple sequels here. These are the second books in series. First one here is Sanctum by Madeline Rue. It is the sequel to Asylum, which I absolutely loved. That took place at like a boarding school where the dorm rooms are under construction, and the kids had to stay at an abandoned asylum that they kind of slightly renovated for the kids to stay there, and they kind of make their way down into the lower depths where the actual asylum is and uncover some crazy things, and this is sort of the sequel to it, and what they may have unleashed. But I love that it's filled with these photographic images that just really give a creepy feel to it. Not unlike Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. It really adds to the whole atmosphere of the book. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to continuing that. And then quite some time ago, I read the first book of this series by Simon Holt. It was The Devouring. And this is book 2 entitled Solstice. It's about these beings called the Vourers. They're evil demonic beings that inhabit human bodies on Starry Night, the darkest hours of winter solstice. And our main character, Reggie, and her younger brother, Henry, kind of encounter these beings, and they kind of invade your mind and kind of stick you in your nightmares like you're trapped in there. And it was really good. In fact, 2 of the nightmares kind of got me, you might say, when I was reading this. Yeah, it was not fun, but I'm looking forward to getting back into this. And then a really unique format of a book, which I saw online, several channels, is this one here, which is called Horror Store, a novel by Grady Hendrix. And it's sort of like an IKEA catalog. In fact, the mystery takes place in a Orsk furniture store. And there's strange things happening there overnight. They seem to find like shattered goblets and smashed wardrobes and lots of weird things happening overnight. So to unravel this mystery, 3 employees volunteer to work a 9-hour dusk till dawn shift in the dead of night. They'll patrol the empty showroom floor, investigate strange sights and sounds, and encounter horrors that defy the imagination. A traditional haunted house story in a thoroughly contemporary setting. So it sounds really cool. I love the way it's like, there's this map of the store in the beginning. And the beginning of each chapter, there's sort of like advertisement for some furniture or what other. Just a really unique format to it. Just sounds really cool. And I've heard really good reviews on it too, so I'm looking forward to getting into this. And then Charlie, who I mentioned earlier, she gave me the idea to do this because this is something she's doing too. We're both big fans of Edgar Allan Poe, and it's been, ages since I've picked up any of his works and read anything. And we both have this beautiful book, the Barnes & Noble leather-bound classic edition of the complete tales and poems of Edgar Allan Poe. And she plans on, mentioned that she planned on picking it up and, reading a couple of the short stories throughout the month. I thought that's a great idea. That's a good way to kind of get into it, not sitting here page cover to cover, but just kind of leafing through and deciding which ones I wanted to read. So I actually started last night with The Telltale Heart. I think it's like 3 pages long total within the book. Really quick, but it just sets the right atmosphere and everything, and his writing is just so amazing. So that's what I plan on doing with this particular book, just kind of picking and choosing which things I want to read. I'll definitely be reading The Raven, my favorite poem, and just a couple other different ones throughout the month. So that is my October TBR and movie watch list and everything. So let me know down below if you guys are planning a theme for this month, and if you've read any of these, what you thought of them. And I will see you in my next video. So of course, like I said, there won't be Friday reads. This is pretty much it. I am reading currently this book. So that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.